Did you hear that voice? That
So
is
it started doing that for me, like, I don't know what, a month ago maybe, and it never used to do that, and then all of a sudden now it says it, and I got so freaked out.
yeah, that's a little bit creepy, but I guess everyone knows this meeting is being recorded. Also, anyone else slightly annoyed that the chat box is like a separate window and it doesn't like attach to like the main window? At least mine doesn't. It's weird.
Mine still attaches.
Oh, yeah, I have a weird setting.
I don't know.
Anyways, we don't need to talk about Zoom features on the team call. I am super pumped just to see so many of your faces. I feel like we haven't hung out even virtually. And those of you that get to come to Summit in Minneapolis, I'm stoked just to be in your presence. And those of you that don't have plans to drive to Minneapolis, I hope you do watch because it is free for all coaches and there's just oodles and oodles of training and things to chew on and think about for building your business. And it's all completely free, which never happens ever. So I'm looking forward to an actual summit next summer. It's going to be amazing. I'm sure they're just going to have tons of exciting announcements next week during the virtual event. But tonight, I really wanted to just talk about ignore my dog. Really just talk about leadership and how most leaders, I think the best leaders, sometimes feel like they're not leaders or that they can't be leaders. But really, leadership is just simply being brave enough to go first, and whatever that means for you. And I wanted to have some of the girls from the leadership retreat in Arizona just kind of share their heart about what they learned there, how they got there, the best part about being there, and maybe any aha moments. Like, you can talk for 1 minute or 10, whatever your heart is calling you to say. I would love for you to say, if it's tough love, say tough love. But these are incredible human beings that I got to spend 4 days with. And I just want you to know that the biggest thing on this team that I love is that I feel like our motto is you can sit with us. Like, everybody is welcome to be at the table, crushing their business, failing forward, learning, and just showing up and doing it. We link arms together on this team. So who would like to go first and just kind of share your experience with the rest of us? You can unmute yourself, whoever wants to go.
I can go first. I'll take one for the team. Okay, so what I learned while I was there is that we see it, like, we see the impact coaching has, we see the impact Beachbody has, but it felt a lot more real, like, when we were all at the pool kind of sharing about like what coaching has done and all of that. And like, you just, like, for me it's changed my entire life, but you don't think about how it's changed everyone else's life too on the team and like all the people there. And you think of like, well, if it changed that like 13 people's lives, what are the next 13 people that need this and what will it look like for them? So the big thing that really hit me there was I can never stop sharing this because so many of us came from really dark places and like really needed it. And so I can never stop sharing because, like, what if like the one day I decide to not share is the one day that Sally Sue needed to hear my positivity and my light. So it just really made me see the impact of coaching and remind me like this isn't a giant scam. And like, I don't know, I guess if I am paying for a pyramid scheme, well, whatever, it's the best money I've ever spent. So I don't really care, I guess. Like, whatever. Well, I just am so sick of that, all of that. But and so it's just you see the impact and it's like, well, whatever. It's cheaper than therapy, I guess. So um, how I got there, like my mindset to get there, because I qualified as a diamond coach was that I never let off the gas. There were like, I probably wrote in my intentions time and time over again that like I was going to be a diamond coach, that I was going to earn this trip. And like it just seemed like it kept getting pushed back. And like it was really easy to get discouraged and say, like, well, it's just not going to happen. Like it's just not in the cards. But I just kept like going for it. And I won't ever forget when like literally I woke up the next morning and I wasn't even expecting it. I was literally diamond because Jess signed up 2 coaches that night, probably after I was even sleeping. And like I woke up and I was diamond and had no idea. And so it just showed me like how, like when you really need it, like God is going to make it work. And like we've all been there where like we have no idea how we're going to accomplish something, and it just like literally the stars align and it happens. So I think any goal you have, you just can't let off the gas. Like I could have got frustrated, I could have said like, well, it's just not going to work, so I'm going to quit trying. But instead I just knew like if you keep putting in the work, it'll come. And then the best part, this is why I volunteered to go first, because everyone wants to say the same thing, and ha ha ha, so I took it, is that being surrounded by the most amazing people was the best, and realizing that like this is real life, and like my life doesn't have to be boring. My life doesn't have to be like you just go to work, you go home, like you just hang out with your husband. I mean, he's great, but he's also boring. So um being able, I hope he can't hear me. He would agree. And so being able to like go on trips and stuff, like you watch it on social media, right? And I think this is where like that whole pyramid scheme comes in, because it's like, well, that's not like feasible for people, like that's not an actual thing people actually get to do. And so like sitting there realizing like, holy crap, this is a real thing that people really get to do, is just, it blew my mind. And so being surrounded by people, like I wish I could quite literally be surrounded, like I wish we could all live in an apartment building together, or maybe like a townhouse complex together, maybe not an apartment, townhouse neighborhood together, because I like literally need the pump up and the like encouragement that group gave, and the non-judgment and all that. So when we get old, let's all like pick a place in Arizona and all just buy condos next to each other. Thank you. That's all I got.
Deal, I'm in. I'll go next. Because Brianna talking made me think of a few things. So I feel like diamond happens like exactly like she said. You're like pushing and you're stressed and you're like, people say you just choose to be diamond. And so why am I not diamond? At least that's my diamond journey. How many, a year ago or 2 years ago when you ran your first one, Andrea, where it was just you and me, and I got to bring Emily with. Anyways, and then when you take your foot off the gas and you finally take like a breath and you like refocus on like, wait, I'm here because I'm serving people. I'm not here because I'm trying to get diamond. And then it just happens. So that repeated action over time, consistent repeated action over time, all of those like rank things and all the glitz and that is going to happen. But you got to keep that other piece of why you're here in the forefront. And for me at our retreat, the best time was the sharing our limiting beliefs in the pool. Like, first of all, what friend circle do you have where anyone's going to bring that up? Like, hi everyone, we're just having cocktails, but let's share our limiting beliefs now, and we're going to go round robin. Who wants to start? And then also, if anyone ever did bring that up, who would ever answer it? Like, I don't have a friend circle where someone would answer that question, because we feel that comfortable together and we know that no one's going to judge whatever comes out of our mouths. And literally every single person went around in that circle. And I mean, we got off planes and met each other in real life for the first time for over half of us. And we poured our hearts out after a day of knowing each other. And I just think that's incredible. And I think that once people experience that in-person thing, that's why you stay. Because yes, the workouts are awesome. Cool. I lost 50 pounds from my pregnancy weight 3 different times. Like, it all works. It's awesome. But you could go do something else and you could lose weight. You could go drink something else and get energy. It's probably never going to be as great as Energize, but you can do that. But you can't go somewhere else and get the community. You cannot go somewhere else and get a judgment-free community. And that's with everybody that's here, just attracting the kinds of people that want a little bit more out of life, that are tired of like the hamster wheel of go to work, come home, keep the kids alive, and do it all over again, right? We know that there's something else. And so like Brianna said, like, why wouldn't you share? That's why I ended up sharing for the first time. And that's why I'm still here is for me, why would you quit? Like, I'm going to keep exercising and I'm going to keep eating better, trying to eat better. And I'm going to keep reading personal development because that's life. Like, why wouldn't I do that for life? And so if I'm going to keep doing that anyway, why wouldn't I share a little bit along the way? And so for me, I think one of the things we talked about on the trip, or maybe it was with Andrea and I on our day-long wait at the airport at the end to get home, we talked about how like on a 0 to 10 scale, like people think you're all in, like 10, that's how you have to coach to be successful. And that's just not true. But the other side of it is people think 0 is when you stop posting. That's not true either. 0 is when you stop working out, when you stop eating healthy, and when you stop doing your personal development. It has nothing to do with posting. So to me, you're always on that scale. None of us are zeros because we're all still working towards being better humans. And so then you're coaching because someone's watching you bring your lunch to work. Somebody is noticing how much energy you have, how happy you are, whether you're posting or not. And so to me, that's coaching. And so I guess I don't know why anybody would quit because I'm just going to keep doing this for life. And it doesn't matter how old you get. I think I have a couple notes, but yeah, I don't know. It's a community for me. That's why I stick around. And that's why I keep sharing, because I know there were people where I was. For me, it's moms who are home, and I have to speak to them because it can be a lonely place. And so why, like Brianna said, why wouldn't I share? Because I could help somebody. So when you're nervous about talking on your stories, this is what did it for me, because it took me 6 months to talk on my stories for the first time, believe it or not. 6 months, no joke. When you're nervous about that, you need to think about, so you're nervous, that's selfish, because someone else needs to hear the words coming out of your mouth today. And so reflip the thinking, because when I think about it like that, then I'm like, all right, I can suck it up and talk for 15 seconds, right? Someone needs to hear something coming out of my mouth. So boom, there you go.
I'll piggyback off of Candace just because you said a bunch of things that also triggered some thoughts. I took no notes, so bear with me, but I learned a lot on this trip. And I also learned a lot before the trip. The most important thing for me was kind of like Candace said, the 0 thing. I convinced myself that I was at a 0. And so when I even got the invite to go to the trip, I was like, what? Like, this is ridiculous. I don't belong there. Like, I don't belong with all of these leaders, which was super hard for me because I used to see myself as a leader, and I, for some reason, just stopped allowing that to be a belief in my brain. It was my limiting belief. So when I got the invite, I had a hard time even convincing myself to go. But then, just like what Candace said, I realized I was hanging on by a thread. It was a loose, tight thread, small thread. But I was still doing the things, and I hadn't given up on myself. I was close to giving up on myself, but I haven't given up on myself, which was also a universal alignment thing, because it was just a reminder that I was meant to be there. Because for that reason, I had still been, I even told Andrea, I got some random, I don't know, what was it, a lead, I think, that signed up that month. And then I had a friend reached out that signed up that month. And I was like, I don't know where this came from. Why am I here? But I was there. So my point is, don't give up on yourself. Like Candace said, even if you feel like you're not doing the things, or if you're comparing, that was my next thing I learned. I was, first of all, telling myself I wasn't good enough. But we are all good enough. We're all here. We are all doing the brave thing, doing the courageous thing, whether it's talking on your stories, whether it's just posting every day, whether it's doing the workout, whether it's, just committing to yourself, getting through another day, all of it. And being a part of this community is just a huge part of that too. The second thing I learned was how much I was getting caught in the comparison trap. I realized it, but I didn't realize how strong it was taking hold of my brain. I was comparing myself to people on this team. I was realizing that it was just not healthy for me to think that way. So being on the retreat with these people helped me. First of all, I shared my limiting belief, and it was so powerful to just release that and let go of it. I literally left it at the pool. That is not coming home with me ever again. It is there. It is staying there. It is burning in the hot sun in Arizona. But that is so dangerous, because that was what kept me in this I already felt like I wasn't doing good enough. And then I kept myself down there because I was comparing myself to everybody else on this team, in other place, the leaders that are, not even a part of this team. I just kept comparing, and I realized that that's not even fair because my story and my journey is way different than everybody else's. So stop doing that for sure. Yes, Cameron, yeah, it's too easy. And then you tell yourself you're not good enough because you're not as good as so-and-so and so-and-so. But we all have our own story. So it's like Candy said, we're being selfish if we compare and then keep ourselves in this small box. What else? The best part of being there for me was just releasing myself of those beliefs and talking it through, saying things out loud. I had some hard conversations with people on this team that I even just admitted some resentment at one point, which was ridiculous and silly and dumb, but it's real. It's real. It takes over our brain. So that was powerful for me to just share that, let it off my heart, get it off my brain. And then, yeah, just being a part of a group and reminding yourself that I am worthy and good enough to be a part of this group and good enough to be in Arizona. Every single one of you on this call who are going to watch this are good enough and worthy enough and capable of being at these retreats. So it took a lot for me to learn that and remind myself of that, but it's true. So the lies are powerful, but we have to just hold on to the truth.
Okay, I can go, I guess. I loved being there. Number one, there's a ton of introverts on this trip, and I'm introverted, and it was a breath of fresh air to not feel so clustered to, like, if we wanted to go do our own thing, it was so nice that everyone's like, what's wrong with you? Why don't you want to stay with us? Whatever, like, everyone just respected that, and I love that because whatever. But I guess a huge thing for me to learn was anything is possible, and it was nice to hear like everyone else's stories of where they were and how far they've come, and it was nice to see like everyone's journey is different, kind of like how everyone else has said, and not to compare yourself, and everyone's success looks different for everyone in this place, and that's okay because everyone has a different reason for being here. So that was a nice reminder for myself. And I don't know, it was a huge breath of fresh air for me to just be with people who were uplifting and supporting and cheering everyone on, because I know that's really hard to find in this world. But if you have any self-limiting beliefs, we're definitely your people that are going to tell you to leave those excuses at the door and that you can do anything you put your mind to. And that's kind of what I've been doing since I've gotten back, and just brainstorming and seeing what the future will look like. So, yeah.
Does that mean it's my turn? Brianna's like, yes, talk. Okay, so what did I learn while I was in Arizona? It's kind of been echoed already, but life can look like whatever we want it to. So Brianna touched on that. Like, we can go on trips with our friends. Like, I didn't really have mom guilt. I had more mom anxiety because I had never left my child for that long, and it didn't set in until like right before. But I didn't feel bad about leaving her. I don't know, we just don't do it. But there's nothing wrong with it. Like, especially for going and spending time with people like this that are going to uplift you. And like Brianna said, like, life can look like whatever the heck we want it to. This is reality. Like, we can build this into our reality that we get to take trips and spend time with our friends and spend time with all these people that help us grow our business and our lives in general. And then the other thing, that I can grow and change and improve, and just I learned so much just from watching these humans on this trip about what like a growth mindset can look like, because I thought that I was kind of in that growth mindset. Like, I've always wanted to be better and stuff, but what I realized was I was actually pretty fixed. Like, I wanted to, but I didn't believe for myself that I ever could be much better than I was. And just watching all these people that, like, I don't know, Candace was talking about how like they were talking about kind of like with the relationship with their spouse and like how things were when they started, and like she's been married longer than Riley and I have, and how like things have changed. Like she learned how to deal with things, they learned how to work together, and that's just like a relationship one, but it happens like even with yourself. I can learn to be better and handle things differently and change my energy. The last day we talked quite a bit about like energy and just like the universe and how when you're open to things, it changes things. So learning that I can grow and change even if I've not been that type of person before. And how did I get there? I just never counted myself out. I wanted to go so bad from the time that it was announced in Arizona. Well, I wanted to go originally, but I kind of was like, whatever, don't want to leave my child. I'm not going to worry too much about it. Kind of tried for Diamond, but I knew it was a long ways off. But as soon as it was announced it was Arizona, I never counted myself out. I worked so hard for Diamond and it didn't happen. But like then Brianna qualified and had her contest for guest of honor, and that was just like, okay, I just had to keep going all the time. And I kept almost counting myself out because I knew Angie was doing all the tracker things too and whatnot. But I just kept pushing and had to tell myself that I was worthy of going if that was what I wanted. And I was, because Arizona had been on my vacation list for a very long time. And then again, best part of being there, being surrounded by amazing women. And the biggest thing for me about the women that were there, they were all very diverse examples of what it means to be happy, healthy, confident, and successful coaches. I don't know. I like to see examples of things in life. And that's what these women were. Like, it was just so awesome to be with women that were just so many different examples of those things, because you have one that's got 3 kids, you have one that's got 1 and 3 businesses, and then Brittany is married and happy that way. And some people work and some people don't. I don't know. It was just so good for me to be surrounded by all those people. That's what I got.
All right, I will go. So I guess I'll just kind of start by saying I didn't earn through becoming Diamond, but ever since it was announced, I literally like had it on my screensaver and I was listening to like Get Rich Lucky Bitch. So I just started like manifesting it like crazy and just like writing it down literally every single day. Like I can go in my journals and it's going to be written down every single day until like the day I went. And like even until a week ago, I still had it on my screensaver, like going to Arizona, like here's what you need to be doing. So I don't know, it just meant a lot for me to go. And I think just like finding friends that get me and we just have something in common, it just, I don't know, it just meant so much to be able to go. And yeah, I missed the big pool session where everyone opened their hearts, but I still felt very included with everything. And yeah, hopefully see people this week virtually or in person possibly. So
Thank you so much. So much. I was hoping to have more concrete plans in place for this team call, but the reality is I do not. But just know that there is another leadership retreat in the works. I have it narrowed down to the dream place and location. I would love to have it in San Diego next year. The house is like literally on the ocean. But it is going to be a leveled up retreat. The spots are first going to go to Star Diamonds. So that will be diamond coaches that also have at least one diamond coach, personally sponsored diamond coach on their team, which is completely possible within a year's time. And Once those spots are filled with star diamonds, then it will be filled with diamonds after that who are closest to star diamond and kind of going down from there. But you want to guarantee a spot. 1 star diamond is your goal. Actually, 2 star would be a great goal because that is when the income jump like actually happens, because you can open up another business center. You can sign yourself up as a coach underneath you guys once you become 2 star. It's freaking amazing. Like, talk about double, triple dipping in bonuses and volume and all the things. It's awesome. So make that your goal. But if that makes you kind of want to throw up in your mouth like Brianna, it's probably a good goal. It's just enough butterflies to kind of be like, okay, here we go, peeps. We're gonna do this. We're going to San Diego. So put that on your vision board. Put it, just kind of tuck it away in your heart that you deserve to be there. Simply just to have time, like everybody said, just time with other people who get you, who are going to push you, and also love you with the biggest amount of grace ever imaginable. Like, this group of friends is the only space where I never feel judged. I never second guess what I say or do. Like, and I hope that everybody else feels that exact same vibe, because that is the culture that I want to have on this team, is that everyone just gets to show up as they are, no matter what that looks like. You're welcome here and loved and worthy. So I'm going to end there just to keep it kind of short and sweet. But if you have questions for any of these people or me, or like, okay, but really, how do I get there, the nuts and the bolts? We can totally have those conversations. Anybody here who talked would love to have one of those conversations with you. If you've talked to me about it before, talk to somebody else to get a different perspective on it. And it may open up your eyeballs to see it in a different light, because it is absolutely possible. People need this in their lives, and we need to be shining our light to everybody and giving them hope. Does anybody have any closing comments or thoughts before we sign off?
Just flip your mindset when she said that and you're like, I'm not going to be Star Diamond. Like, I'm not going to San Diego. Like, cut that shit out right now, because literally everyone who's on this call could be. And like, I know some of you right now already, like, we're like, oh, that's not going to be me. I can't hit 1 star. And I'm calling your bullshit and saying, like, knock it off. And like, tell yourself right now that you're going to do it, because I think some of you guys haven't seen the success you want just because you are like standing in your own way. We all do that. I mean, like, even the top people on this team do that. We stand in our own way. So cut it out.
And if you want to be around energy like that, because she is going to be there, you better just listen to her, because that is exactly how she is in real life too. It's freaking amazing.
Chase the butterflies. They are like the sign, and just, you have to chase them. The butterflies in your stomach. Do I need to explain that part? Chase them.
Mic drop. Perfect way to end. Love you all.